Plus, a former Doctor Who travels across time and space to join us live in the studio.
Well, when you're the boss of your own television show, you can pretty much do whatever you like. And today, we're indulging our boss, our executive producer, Rob McKnight. He is a huge Doctor Who fan, massive. His name, and we actually had the guest on today, Peter Davison, one of the most famous doctors of the television series. He's about to join us live in the studio, so we thought we'd get Rob in and indulge him just a little bit to meet his all-time favourite, like we had any choice anyway. Let's welcome our executive producer, Rob McKnight.
Hello, Sarah. It's so lovely for you to invite me on the show.
Well, look, it is
I don't know why you did it,
here,
but
boss.
thank you.
Really great to have you here. You are obsessed with Doctor Who.
I love it.
It's quite frightening.
Well, I was just thinking about it. You are frightened.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about it. I was 8 when our next guest, Peter Davison, started in 1981 as the Doctor. And so I was already a fan of the show by then. And then he really captured my imagination and took off. I was such a fan, Sarah. I was so geeky. I went on shows like the ABC's Afternoon Show and went in a Doctor Who quiz. And I won. Thank you very much.
Well, this is the moment. Are you excited?
I'm very excited. No, it's fine.
All right, he was the 5th actor to play the title role of Doctor Who from 1981 to 1984, travelling across time and space in his very own TARDIS. Please welcome Peter Davison. Hi, I'm Sarah. How are you? Welcome.
That's the first time the TARDIS has ever arrived where it's meant to be. Extraordinary.
What I love, you haven't forgot that you need to close the door or expose the illusion. So, well done, well played, sir.
Welcome to the show, Peter.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. Obviously, the AVO that you took out against Rob McKnight has expired, which means that you can be here this morning. But look, Rob, I'll let you take over the questioning because you are chomping at the bit to get to it.
OK, first of all, when you look back at your life in Doctor Who, what do you think of most?
It's only that it's the longest part in show business. You know, I took it over in 1981, as you said, and when I left in 1984, I kind of thought that would be it. And yet I am still the 5th Doctor, and still it seems to be carrying on and on and on.
And you come from a successful show, All Creatures Great and Small, but you were critical of some of the writing on Doctor Who at the time.
Well, it varied. I think that's the problem. A lot of the time you had writers who, wanted to write a Doctor Who story. Other times you just get writers who maybe one week were doing Softly, Softly, another week were doing Casualty, and they thought, I'll just knock off a Doctor Who script. One script particularly, I remember, I think the writer told me, he just had it in his bottom drawer. He took it, a murder mystery out, and he just, change the names for Doctor Who in here.
Which episode was that?
I'll let the fans tell you. It's called Black Orchid.
I thought it might be.
A lot of the fans like Black Orchid, yeah. But nevertheless, it was just something. I just don't think people took it. The writers took it seriously enough, or that maybe, I don't know, the producer wasn't looking hard enough.
Are you envious of the people on the show now? Because everyone takes it so seriously.
I am very envious of the fact that it's now run by people who grew up watching Doctor Who fans, and by and large the stories are written by people who have a passion for the genre, and I think that's one thing you can't deny. I mean, sometimes it gets a little too complicated. I mean, I now find myself, for years I was brilliant at knowing what was going on in Doctor Who, you see, and now I find myself sitting in front of the programme watching it with my 2 sons, and I find myself going, what's going on? What's happening? I don't understand it. It's tragic. I don't know if that's just my brain cells dying off, or because it's written by Doctor Who fans, they enjoy it so much, they make it so intricate. it is. You have to really watch it 2 or 3 times to know what's going on, I think.
Now, I know a former doctor, Patrick Troughton, gave you the advice to leave after 3 years. Do you regret doing so?
No, I think it was the right decision. I mean...
The show suffered.
Well... I think possibly the show would have suffered anyway. I don't know. It was going in a certain direction. There were powers that be inside the BBC at that time who didn't like Doctor Who. They didn't want it on the air. And unfortunately, Colin, who followed me, suffered the consequences of that. I don't think it was anything to do with Colin. It was just that there was a feeling that Doctor Who was sort of old and tired and they wanted to be rid of it. I don't think they were right about that. The fans certainly didn't agree with it, and they managed to keep it going in all manner of ways, through conventions and through... there was a company that came into existence making audios, and that kept the programme going. And it's arguable, I suppose, although I didn't like to see it taken off the air, that it kind of rejuvenated it when it came back. It came back as a very different programme.
And because it came back, you got to reprise the role in a Children in Need special. What was it like returning and playing the Doctor after so long?
Very strange, because it wasn't my TARDIS anymore. You know, they now filmed it down in Cardiff. It was what they call a standing set. Oh, there I am. It was... I felt very much a visitor.
And obviously you ended up working with the man who would become your future son-in-law. That's not weird at all.
Who knew? Yeah.
2 doctors in the one family.
Yeah, it's quite an extraordinary
David
story,
Tennant,
really.
of course.
That's right, yes, David Tennant. My daughter was in an episode of Doctor Who, oddly called The Doctor's Daughter.
Yes.
I guess it was sort of destiny from there.
Now, quickly, we are running out of time, and I'm going to get in so much trouble because I'm always going on about winding these guys up. I'm going to go another minute. A couple of things. You're here for the Symphonic Orchestra.
Yes.
It's great that there's a reason for you to come to Australia.
Yes. I mean, it's been brilliant as well. It's a chance to get people to come along and see orchestras playing the marvellous Doctor Who music, you know, that people who wouldn't normally see those sort of shows.
And one final question, even though I got the rap 2 minutes ago. Here, let me ask you this. Yeah. In the mockumentary you made for the 50th anniversary
Five-ish
special...
Doctors reboot, yes.
That's right.
Still available on the BBC website.
And was fantastic. But in the final scene, there is a indication that you three, Sylvester McCoy and Colin Baker, actually were under some sheets in the filming of a scene in the Doctor Who. Yes. Were you really in there? Of course we were. Do you appear on camera?
Of course we do.
Hey, that's what I wanted to know. Fantastic. All right.
Hey, Davison, so good to have you here. You've put our boss in such a good mood. We're all asking for pay rises
for everyone. Hang on, I'm getting word from the CEO. I can't do that. I don't have the authority.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much
appreciate
indeed.
it. Apologies for this fanboy.
That's absolutely fine. It's very nice to have
he does adore you.
a big fan on the sofa.
It's very fun. To drop out of school, get the doll. That is next as we count down on Studio Doll.